Oh, 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 oh. That's right, I called you a hoe. What is up, everybody? Welcome to a very merry Christmas episode of Let's Do a Podcast. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anthony.
And yeah, it's Christmas time.
It is. I'm over here writing my my list for Santa Claus.
Oh,
I'm wishing he would send us some good movies to watch.
oh. Have you been naughty or nice?
I have not been good.
Yeah, that's probably why we watch these movies.
It's our penance.
Yeah. So, man, it's December already. I feel like this year really did fly by. Like,
yeah, it rocketed.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, of course, I feel like everybody says that, but
yeah,
you know,
you always feel like that at the end.
Yeah, definitely. It's never at the beginning of the year,
like that, or when it's like 200 degrees outside, and you're like, "Oh my god, will it chill out?"
Yeah, winter, please come. That's what she said. I feel like it's a valid thing for this movie, honestly.
I'm gonna start keeping store here.
Yeah. All right, let's open up these beers because I need something to drink.
All right, yeah, I'm quite thirsty. So this day, so if you'll recall from our last episode, one of our last episodes, I can't remember if it was our last one. I was talking about we did Hop Unity Yellow Edition, and I was like, green should be out by now. Well, ask and you shall receive. I think it was maybe a few days later, and they released it, Hop Unity Green Edition. And so I'm just gonna crack this open here.
Ooh. Nice.
It's got quite the
good one.
Quite the aroma here.
Yeah. As soon as I opened it, I could smell
kind of a piney smell.
So we've had this is the fourth, right? The fourth one that they've come out with.
So they're doing like a Roy G. Biv type thing, and so they have had Roy. Now this is G.
And if I remember correctly, I think we've liked pretty much every single one that they've come out with.
I mean, to be fair, they are all like IPAs.
Yeah, and you know us. Well, unless you're new. If you're a new listener, you don't know us. But if you've been around for a while, you know we love IPAs.
I did a top-notch pour there. I don't have to wait a minute.
No.
Yeah. It's like 60% head.
That's what she said.
But green edition. So the editions we've had to this point. So red edition was a West Coast style IPA. Orange was an American style IPA. Yellow was a hazy IPA. This one, green edition, is an Imperial IPA featuring YCH 603 Cryo and XO 9326 hops. Yes, these are experimental hops. So always interested in this. So these are. I don't know if these I've seen these anywhere else, but they sound very scientific-y. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like something that would be made in a lab or accidentally, or if you're arresting somebody and a truck rams into you and your body chemicals mix with it and you turn into a snowman.
Turn into a mutant beer monster.
Yeah. So obviously Anthony hasn't taken a sip of his. If you're watching,
I'm working on it.
Which you can watch us at Let's Twitch a pod or Let's Do a Podcast, pretty much anywhere. So I have taken a few sips. Definitely, it's very different.
Is it Imperial?
It's definitely Imperial. Very, very Imperial. I like it though.
Yeah,
I could see myself accidentally chugging this whole thing way too quick.
I'm trying
because it's still, even though it's an Imperial, it's still an IPA. So you get the normal IPA kind of feel, but it's just punches you a little bit different. I like the way you put that head in your mouth.
No, none of that. No.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, we've had all of them so far. I mean, granted, I haven't rated this, and we're not going to rate it till the end of the show if we remember.
If you remember.
Which I'm pretty sure we have rated every single one of these at least. Yeah. So, I enjoy it so far though. So again, I like to see what it does whenever it warms up because
the foam is good. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, if it's a good foam, there you go. But while we're waiting till Anthony can actually drink his beer, let's talk about some of the events because there's not a lot that I can talk about because a lot of the events are at the end of December. So I don't want to get there since we have a whole nother episode. But I will say first, before I go down this list, we are for sure going to Festivus at Celestial
Yes, we have it
on
on the books.
the 25th,
I thought it was 20,
23rd.
23rd. I don't know. I gotta. I think my wife texted me and it's like, did you want to go to this?" It's like, "Yeah, I talked to Ryan about it. We're gonna go."
Hold on. Yeah, I
I got
got
like a bunch of coupons for free
23rd.
beer
Yeah.
at Celestial. So
Yeah. So
drinks on me.
December 23rd. I think it starts at like 4 or 5 o'clock. I should have pulled up the information, but the next episode, of course, I'll talk about it again. I'll have all the information about it. They just actually posted it online, but I messaged them earlier, like whenever I texted you, or texted the group. I was just like, I already knew we were doing it because I asked Celestial, and they're like, "Yeah, we just haven't posted." I'm like, "Okay, great." So we'll be going to that. It'd be nice to see some folks.
Like you did it. You did it last year, right?
I've never been.
I know.
No,
I think I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, because I would always have to work because of the way the holidays were. But I was just like, I finally got off for Festivus this year. Like, I think from now on, I'm just gonna try to tell my company that I work for now and just be like, "Hey, I celebrate a different holiday."
Yeah, it's like sorry, it's a religious observance.
Yeah,
it's like, what religion? I'm sorry, that's you can't ask me that question.
you can't ask me that. Did you get a sip of it yet?
I did.
Oh, okay. What's your feels?
The mouth feels good. The taste is good. It is quite the imperial. It's I don't say it's heavier, but it lingers. The flavor lingers on the palate, which is really good. It's not as light as like a so. Get my words together here. So the flavor profile on Untapped, it says it's hoppy, check. Piney, check. Strong, double check. Tropical, I'm not getting that as much, maybe a little bit. And resiny, yeah, check. I got that too.
Maybe the piney makes a little tropical. I don't know.
Well, what this really reminds me of is the medical grade IPA. It seems very similar to me.
It does kind of have that feel. Yeah,
it seems very similar.
I could see that.
Still haven't found anything that reminds me of the 3D IPA. So
yeah,
community,
please,
gotta do it,
please. All right, so
3D IPA.
Some events we got is the 8th anniversary Lardy over at Panther Island.
I think I used to know what a Lardy is, but I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, I always meant to look up to see if it was
misspelled. We talked about this last time, and we thought it was misspelled.
Oh, we wondered if it was misspelled, but I forgot to look. I'll look again. I'll go do the social media search after. So our next episode, I can tell you. Of course, the party will already, or the Lardy will be over, but
you'll know.
We'll know at least. You'll know. So of course, the Pitmasters barbecue class everywhere. They're doing Roaring Suns on the 10th, and then they are doing Hop and Sting on the 11th. So, it looks like those are your last chances this year to do it. So
get in on it.
Beer and macaroon flight pairing over at Tups on the 10th. That would be
sounds
fun.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like they can't be too far out from opening their new facility too.
I don't know. I see updates off and on.
I'm hoping they get it done before it gets to be summer again, because that's the one thing that holds me back from going there, like during the summer months, is that I love the beer. The facility is awesome. The current one is awesome. But it's like when it's like 200 degrees outside, you can't blow enough air through there to keep it that cool.
A little AC would be fantastic. All right, what do we got? We got the 3-year anniversary party for Odd Muse on the 10th. I really wish I could go, but just my calendar is so packed right now. 2nd annual Ugly Sweater Party at Tups, also on the 10th. Oh, so they're doing 2 things.
I've seen some good ones out there. I was gonna bring mine, and I totally forgot to bring my ugly sweater today.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe we'll see each other again. If actually, I don't think I have one, because I was to say we could take a picture, but
yeah.
Oh, and another Ugly Sweater Party at the Ginger Man on the 10th, which that is their Las Colinas. I think that's the only one they have left in the area.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, oh, they have one in South Lake, but no, they do not.
Yeah.
That is now a Cowtown.
So I think the only one in the DFW is the Las Colinas one. And the last one, well, no, I already talked about the Pitmasters at Hoppenstink. So those are really the only events I'm going to talk about because the rest of them are towards the end of
Yeah,
this.
Pitmasters of Hop and Sing. That is on my birthday.
And you're not even going to be here.
Woo-hoo. No, I'm gonna be out of town.
I know.
Yeah.
We always go out. Well, for pretty much any of our birthdays, all four of us, we usually go out. So I'm just like, of course you're out of town. Wedding, right?
Yeah,
Right?
going to a friend's wedding. Yeah.
December wedding.
Yep. Hey,
Uh,
it's like I don't trash on it.
No,
I got
I
married on the
don't.
27th.
Yeah, I know.
So
No, I mean, if I could, I would have done it during the winter.
it's like I did it on the 27th, so I didn't take extra vacation because I already was taking vacation for Christmas to go
There you
visit
go.
family in Florida. So I was like, hey, let's do it on the 27th. I'm already on vacation anyways. It's like 2-for-1 special.
Yeah, we did ours in June, so it's middle of summer, or it's towards the beginning of summer, and it's in Texas. And we did like photos outside. It was terrible. It was so hot.
Oh yeah, you had to be dying.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I was always like, well, how about we do it closer to it being cold? But I get outvoted. So,
Yeah. To be fair, I did mine in Florida, and it was still fucking hot.
I bet.
In December. So
I mean, yeah, it's Florida in December. So those are the events so far. Of course, we'll talk about. I'll look up the Lardy, and then the Festivus information for the next episode, and what time we'll be there. Which I'll probably be there the whole time. So, I guess besides that, do we jump into to this Jack Frost 2? What is it? Jack Frost 2: Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman.
it totally is a Lardy.
Oh, they meant to do that? Okay. What is a Lardy?
I don't know. Okay, so it says Lardy here, but it says on Dallas Morning News they corrected it. But Panther Island's website,
Panther,
they call it Lardy. So just because I couldn't wait to get this detail. So the deets, guests of the evening, Santa. That's right. You get to Lardy and take free pictures with the Santa. Ugly sweater contest, homemade, retro, and gaudiness encouraged. Rad beer releases, including some sweet barrels we've been sitting on for the glorious occasion. Local vendors, including Uncle Becca's appropriate trucker hats and Project Good apparel. Yada yada yada. Guest taps, loads of wine. There is no explanation of what a Lardy is.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, he's about to look up Lardy, but I kind of want to do I'm excited to actually do a Christmas, be able to go to some of these Christmas things because I'm always just so busy. But I was just like, you know what? This is our last year here. I got to do one, and of course, it's got to be Festivus. So, oh, I think he's stumped.
It's like Urban Dictionary has Lardy as dude, that shit was so Lardy. Another word for something that is funny. Or let's see here.
Oh no.
A lame party, a disappointment, or
so they're already just calling their party lame before,
or a land party,
or a land party,
or
I like the idea that they're calling their anniversary party lame. I almost want to just go with that.
It's like or a girl who with a serious boyfriend or husband that goes out with the intent to seduce unassuming men to one night stand, yada yada yada.
Oh my!
I'm sure it's not that.
That would be a wild one to go to.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's maybe the first one. Another word for something that is funny. Maybe it's a funny party.
Could be, yeah.
Or a lame party.
Yeah. So
yes, it is a Lardy.
So you got to go and figure out which one it is. I think.
And if you get seduced by a married woman,
run away.
No, yeah,
just go. Just run. It's a trap. All right, movie time.
Movie time.
All right, Jack Frost 2. So as you guys, I do know there are actually people that listen to us every time we release. So you guys have probably listened to the first Jack Frost movie, and that was wild.
That was we did that last Christmas, and I saw. I think we discussed that there was a sequel to this last year, and so when we were figuring out what we were going to do for Christmas, I was doing research. It's like, all right, weird and bad Christmas movies, and you have your classics come up. Santa Claus versus Ice Cream Bunny.
Is that what you put in Google?
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah,
that's how I found mine.
Like I'm not a complex Googler.
Yeah,
but like there's like Santa Claus versus the Martians, Santa Claus versus the Devil, Santa
Classic.
Claus
Oh, that's a
versus.
classic.
I've not seen that in whole. I have seen Santa Claus versus the Martians though, which hey, people say it's bad, but don't sleep on it. That movie's actually pretty good. Once
It's bad, but
if you
it's
get all the
fun.
way through it.
Yeah. So Santa Claus versus the Devil, they do a Mystery Science Theater of it.
Yeah,
And that's what I watched.
I have not watched that.
Yeah,
in full.
that's worth it.
Which I did for Thanksgiving. I did do my day of Mystery Science Theater 3000, which that's I'll discuss my thing of the week later. But anyways, long story short, went through all these bad movies that you're like, standard bad movies. But then I was just kind of looking at what we'd done, and I was like, Jack Frost, and so I went to back look at Jack Frost and remind myself what we had done, and I saw there's a sequel, Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman.
Yeah.
Could it be any easier to choose a Christmas movie?
Yeah. As soon as he sent that to me, I was like, oh, obviously we have to do this.
Yeah.
I forgot too. And I know I keep saying this, but I think because our trip, it's going to be a 4-day trip that we have to take. I was like, maybe during that, I'll like write down the list of like the movies we've done, and the beers we've had, because I know we keep saying we need to do it. We need to
do a spreadsheet. Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I'll take that time to actually do that. So, but anyways, yeah, Jack Frost 2.
What's really interesting, so it's Jack Frost 2, but they have the added subtitle, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman, because they didn't want it being confused with the Michael Keaton Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a Ghost Dad type movie.
So. Yeah. And whenever we searched for it, because, of course, like my wife, she sat down and watched both movies with me. She's like, "Oh, we're watching this one." I'm like, "No, keep going to the right. It's the bad one."
Yeah, not your lucky day. Sorry.
What I love though, this isn't like what I liked about, but I like that though it's made in 2000, but it's shot like it's in the 80s.
I know, right? I thought it was. It's got like very much like Gremlins energy.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, this is like maybe like 1990.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't think this movie, like, I didn't think just the two movies in general were that old. But then, when I looked it up, I was like, oh, they just shot it like it's really fucking old. Like, that's awesome.
I should have paid attention and see if it was like shot in like widescreen or if it was in 4:3.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, if it was like film for TV, like for old TV. It's like, in the year 2000s, like widescreen wasn't like a much of a thing yet. So, or was it? It could be widescreen. It was just converted into the current aspect ratio, and we're just missing parts of the frame now. Who knows? But
so you want to give a little synopsis? We could talk about the random parts of the movie and then what we like.
All right. So I have a story outline courtesy of IMDb. So in this sequel of the first Jack Frost movie, again, not Michael Keaton, Sheriff Sam Tyler, his wife Anne, with Sam's 2 deputies, also husband and wife. Don't forget, I think Sam's entire family except for his wife died in the first movie.
Oh yeah.
They decide to go on a Caribbean vacation to take their minds off the traumatic events of the previous movie in place with absolutely no snow. We do see him doing a psych appointment, least professional psych office I've seen in my life.
That was wild.
Yeah, just don't get your psychology appointments from Alfred Hitchcock looking assholes. So.
God, all those random people too.
Yeah.
Like,
it was like a construction worker, somebody from a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, it looks like a maid,
like a short order cook,
and it was like a maid, like that classic outfit kind of maid thing. You're like, randos. What? Oh, yeah, it was. I just remember thinking and I think even Hannah was just like, "What's even really happening here?" I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes to set up the fact that nobody believes. Like, it's like one of those things. Like, yes, the big thing happened. The town got killed, but nobody believes that's what actually happened.
Yeah.
But anyways, so their holiday will be short-lived as the thawed murderer gets inadvertently refrozen and brought back to life. As if that weren't bad enough, he now has the ability to remain frozen even in tropical temperatures, and he's headed south to settle some old scores. Yeah, he's got a keen sense of direction too.
Let me tell you, I mean, there's just stuff about this where you're just like, how the hell does he know this?
Well, so I think there are some like not great movies that'll spend time kind of like trying to explain how he figures out how to get there. But this movie's like, hey, we know what you're here for. You're here for the snowman killing assholes. Yeah. So we're just gonna do that, and we're just gonna see him killing his way to Jamaica. I'm guessing it was Jamaica.
I
So
think that's what they were trying
or
to
like
do.
an
They
island
never
off
really
Jamaica.
said, but
Yeah.
uh, so a random fact that I saw whenever we were prepping is actually the 4 weeks that they recorded on an island for this, it was actually raining the whole time, but which made it difficult because they were trying to portray it being a super sunny
Yeah.
type place. That's why pretty much all the shots you could tell that
Very
they were
gloomy. Yeah.
inside beaches and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like you never like all the times that they were running outside, you knew they weren't actually outside. I thought it was just to be even more silly and weird,
Yeah.
but it's because it was pouring down the whole time
Yeah.
that they
It
were
just adds to
recording.
the charm, really.
So it almost made it worse that like they went to an island, spent all this money to record on an island when they didn't really use the island that because it was raining.
Yeah,
So
they could just could have just saved their money and recorded on sound stages back
yeah,
in
yeah.
California or wherever they were filming.
Um, man, this was a fun, wild ride.
Yeah, I feel like this got into the this almost got into the asylum territory where it's very self-aware that
Yeah,
it's not a good movie.
yeah. It knew what it was doing,
Yeah.
and if I remember right, that's kind of how the first one went too.
Yeah, it's very tongue in cheek in the beginning, in
Yeah,
the first one. There's some of these movies that they take themselves very seriously, which those are always awesome because they take because they're like trying so
the
hard and they're
tracks.
just doing not great.
It just never
Yeah,
works. Um, yeah. If I remember right, there's no famous actors really. It's a lot of no name type people.
yeah.
Some people that we see in the first movie, but I mean, all right. So let's talk about some of this. And this isn't what we like dislike, but let's just talk about the random moments throughout this. Of for one, the people that dug up Jack Frost's coolant body.
Oh yeah. Did you see it was so they said it was they so in the psych eval they were saying that they buried him in an unmarked grave. You get there, there's a headstone that has nothing on it. It's literally an unmarked grave.
Yeah,
It's like this but there's a headstone with nothing on it. So it's
so
just like
it's easy to
that's not
find.
that's that's
Yeah,
not like suspicious whatsoever. It's just an unmarked grave, not just buried in a random field somewhere. It's in a graveyard that is unmarked,
yeah. My
except for by a headstone.
my problem was like the zero explanation of why this guy went, dug it up, took it to this, I guess, lab, and they just poured it in this dangling thing,
So
fish tank. Like it just it that whole part. Granted, a lot of this movie doesn't make sense, but
yeah.
it's just like I kind of wanted more out of that to figure out. Oh, were they trying to rebuild? Were they trying to experiment? What were they doing? But
So my
there's nothing.
my head canon on that is that this whole thing started when the serial killer Jack Ross, he got like was it like acid, like mutagenic acid on him that turned him
Yeah,
into the like burned
yeah,
away his body. So my thought is that the government, so it was like part of like a government research project. Is my head canon,
right,
and so
right.
they were not just there to revive Jack Frost. They were there to like do experiments on the acid after it had been exposed to like a human body
Okay,
and all this random shit. The federal government is like, "Yep, this is what happened," and we're just gonna see where we went wrong. Maybe I don't know, but obviously they were very careless with their lab equipment because they just set a cup of
coffee cup.
tea or
Yeah,
coffee.
yeah. I mean, it was
He's
yeah,
like,
it
"Man,
was a mug,
magic coffee."
and he kept slamming his body into the swinging. Which I mean, for one,
Uh,
one of their problems was putting this fish tank held up by
like chains.
chains
Yeah,
and nothing underneath it to make it stable. They just poured everything in there and left the top open. So, okay. Anyways, I'm not
yeah.
gonna pick too much because I mean I know it's
I was like trying to figure out
bullshit, but
why they did that. It's like, are they doing that to
yeah,
like keep it cool? Because like I've seen like experiments where you're like trying to get something to like absolute zero, and you're trying to like
yeah,
eliminate all points of contact with like the Earth or anything else other than the thing that's trying to cool it. Uh, but chains aren't really going to do much for that.
yeah.
So I was just like, why are they hanging it like that?
Yeah, it was so weird. But anyway, so yeah, so the guy keeps I guess he's cleaning. I can't remember what he was
He's like
doing.
buffing the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyways, finally he dumps the coffee mug or just the mug into the fish tank area where Jack's acid body thing is.
It's like the antifreeze. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he can use that to create himself, I
He like
guess.
reconstitutes himself
Yeah.
after he uses coffee with creamer to reconstitute his body somehow. After all those other experiments that the scientists did on him, they were like, "Oh, nothing's happening."
Yeah, so it just
Uh,
happened. All you need is coffee, creamer, or tea. So anyways, again, he kills the guy, blah blah blah, goes into the drains, gets out
yeah,
to the
that's kill
ocean.
one.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of spike kills in this movie.
He loves the space. And
Yeah.
a what's the big thing that he dropped on like the
Oh, it's like
second
an
lady?
anvil.
An
He
anvil. That's
drops
it.
an anvil on something. It's like
He
Looney
made an
Tunes.
anvil out of snow and killed somebody. I
Yeah, I've written down a few of the signature kills
Okay,
here.
cool. Let's go through those.
Yeah. So the snow anvil
Yeah,
is one of my favorites.
classic. That was awesome.
The tongs. So like the lady
Oh,
like is like trying to defend herself with tongs. He takes the tongs and stabs them into her eyes. We see them later with her eyes like
I
on the end of the
still get
tongs.
it.
We get to see that like from both sides. So
That was
which
great.
I'm like wondering. I'm wondering. So we get Mr. Manners, who was in the first movie. He was like a FBI agent.
Right.
He comes back and he's like a security at this island. But we see him walking up with the tongs with the eyes on the end of it. It's like, did he rip this out of this dead lady's head?
Right. And he's calm too.
Yeah. He's, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
We get.
Did you notice too that whenever they're done with him, he just puts them in a coffee mug?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he just sets them right into a coffee mug. I'm like, what?
You're gonna have to watch that extra good, dude.
What?
Yeah, I didn't see that. We do see the Christmas. I feel like this is a Christmas Story reference where the guy's like, "Oh, the beer is warm." He's like, "I know what we can do. You put your tongue on the pole." This is after he freezes the island.
Yeah.
He puts the tongue on the pole. And it's like, you of course, if you've seen the Christmas Story, you know how this is gonna go. But he puts his tongue on there, and then the other frat bro gets distracted, and so instead of pouring the beer down this pole to cool it off for him, he just walks off to check out somebody else. And
Yeah.
and Jack Frost is like, "Hey, let me help you out with that," and he rips him off of the pole, leaving his tongue on the pole.
His entire tongue stays on the pole.
So that was another classic one.
That was a good one.
My other one that I wrote down there was when the Colonel and Bobby got killed, because I was like, the black guy always gets killed in these movies. I was like, Bobby's gonna make it, and Bobby did not make it.
He didn't make it.
Yeah, the bartender. I thought he made it because he even there was even a thing where like they were like, need somebody to act as bait, and he was like,
Yeah.
"No way in hell, no
Yeah,
way
he
in hell,
goes-
I'm not doing it."
Yeah, he's just like,
So I thought
I'm
he was
not
gonna
stupid.
survive. I thought he's acting smart. Like I figured the Colonel would die.
Yeah, we saw that.
The Colonel running the resort. He's an old dude, but I thought Bobby would make it. I thought he'd defy the odds, but he didn't. He ended up getting killed right at their moment of success, right when they thought they'd kill everybody.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about my dislikes later, obviously, but another wild twist in this is Jack Frost has babies.
He does. He has little snowball babies. This is where I started getting like Gremlins vibes from it, because it seemed very Gremlins too, where like we start seeing all these Gremlins around doing just random shit, and just like kind of having. It was like that, or like in the new Ghostbusters movie, where like there's a bunch of little tiny Stay Puft Marshmallow Men, and they're like doing shit and like like setting each other on fire,
But
and, like doing random shit. So there's we see little tiny Jack Frost, and they're vicious little assholes too.
Oh yeah, it was so weird. Like, I think what made it great and weird at the same time was it was obvious that they just grabbed the little styrofoam balls and stuck little arms on it, and it was really goofy. And of course, the way that they ended up killing them was wild.
Well, so in the first movie they kill Jack Frost with antifreeze. So they get to where they're gonna shoot him with antifreeze. And they
tried that.
They set up the whole thing. They kill him with antifreeze, and you think, oh wow, they killed him. Yeah. All right, they still got another 30 minutes in this movie. What's gonna happen? Well, since he was like combined with the antifreeze, that no longer affects him.
Yeah.
But he also, this gets brought up a few times, that his blood got mixed with Sam's blood. Sam, the guy who killed him in the first movie. And Sam, we learn like right at the end, has an allergy to bananas. And so that is much like much like the movie War of the Worlds, where something inane kills the monster.
Yeah.
Bananas kill all the tiny little snowmen and the big snowman.
Yeah.
And it's like and to bring in another one, like Mars Attacks, where like they get exposed to the thing that kills them, and they just like explode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very much that kind of vibe of the explosions of
Yeah,
the little snowball babies.
it's like get a little banana daiquiri on them, and like, which
Yeah.
I think you do that
It
to me too, and that I don't like banana daiquiri. You put it on me, I probably explode as well. So
I think the weird part about it too is whenever they did the little montage of killing the snowball
yeah,
babies, it looked a little too inappropriate because of like the slow motion of like the liquid hitting the babies and stuff.
yeah.
I was like, this looks
It's
wrong.
well, it looks like somebody was like throwing vomit on them or something. It looked pretty nasty.
Yeah, it was
Like
really
that
weird.
is not a this is no longer daiquiri. It's just like banana mush. Uh, which hey, do what you need to do to like survive, and because like I think they're also trying to keep these little snowball dudes from escaping the island as well,
Yeah.
because the supply boat was coming soon. So
Oh, that's right. That's
that was
right.
so they were not only trying to save themselves, but they're also trying to save humanity. So there's that element there. Um, but but it's really interesting for that entire time period. We don't see Jack Frost at all
Yeah, he's
until like
like
right at the very end.
disappeared for a long time. Well, it seemed like even though the acid doesn't kill him, it still seems like it hurts him
Yeah,
because he seemed
he's looking
very
pretty
hurt.
raggedy after the antifreeze. Yeah,
So he threw up his first baby snowball and then disappears for a while. So my thought was maybe he's disappearing to like get his energy back, maybe.
yeah, maybe.
But then yeah, he finds like the one leftover baby that barely got away, and then it ended up dying in his hands.
Yeah,
You see a little tear go
yeah.
down his face. And then that's whenever he decides, all right, it's time to kill. And
Which it's not like he has not already done this.
yeah, and he legit says, it's kill time. We're like, dude, you've murdered thousands,
Yeah,
like hundreds of people by
it's like
now.
I think at that point he had already killed let's see, thir- no 28 people at that point.
Yeah, I'd say at
No, not
least.
28. 18 people. Sorry.
And that's not even counting his kids, right? Or are those his kids too?
No, no, I'm talking about humans.
Yeah,
So he
but his
had
kids killed a bunch too.
yes, I counted them too. Yeah, it was 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, yeah, he's that many in, and then he's like, all right, it's kill time. We're like, what the fuck have you been doing? But yeah, then he really does end up killing a few more people. I can't remember how many
Well,
more,
so
but
like so after that he gets his revenge on
oh yeah,
the
the
Colonel
colonel.
and Bobby. Then we see the two deputies who are getting married. We see them run off and hide in the freezer. Which did you watch the after credits thing?
Oh no, I didn't
There's an
see
after
it.
credits thing where they're basically just stuck in the freezer and nobody's there to let them out.
Oh
Because
jeez.
you see Sam and his wife, they go out on the beach
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hello," it's like he's turning blue.
Oh jeez, that's
So they
hilarious.
just like leave what's her name, Anne, out in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But Sam, like, so like I feel like in the last part, so like Sam was like the hero in the first movie, and his wife Anne ends up being the hero at the very end of this movie.
Yeah.
Except that she gets saved very close to the end. She almost gets fridged, right at the end, where she gets like almost boxed in by Jack, and then it reminded me of Star Wars where they're stuck in the garbage
I think
compactor.
that's what they were going for. Yeah,
Yeah,
because Jack made a box around her with like a
with spikes. Oh, spike kill.
yeah, another spike kill, and just like slowly brought his body closer in. It was
Yeah,
interesting. I got that vibe too.
but Sam comes in and shoots a banana. It's like she's got a banana on her arrow, and I was like, he shoots it in there. I'm like, if she's in there, she probably just got stabbed by an
Yeah,
arrow.
yeah, she got shot.
If not already impaled by whatever spikes are in this box that reformed into Jack.
Yeah,
Um, but he saves her out of there, Ghostbuster style. Going back to Ghost, there's a lot of references to other movies. I feel like.
yeah.
Um,
The weird thing in that whole thing is once Jack dies, explodes, he turns into shaving cream all over the floor.
it was like shaving cream or soap or something. Yeah,
It was odd because you're
yeah.
like,
It reminded me of like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man when they're like
yeah.
rescuing people out of like the exploding Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in
I was just
Ghostbusters.
like, it should just be like a shit ton of water on the ground,
Yeah,
right?
right. He should have melted. It's like again, you're in Jamaica, dude.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, so he finally finds her in all the foam stuff, and yeah, they walk
Which
out to the beach.
again, I feel like she needs immediate medical attention. She probably has like several impalement wounds,
Yeah, at
but
least.
maybe not. I don't know.
I
She's
feel like
saved by the power of love.
that's pretty much the movie. Um,
It felt a bit longer than that, but yeah, that's basically what happens.
yeah. So Anthony, what did you like most about this movie?
I like the tongue-in-cheek nature of this movie. A lot of times, I'm like, a lot of times when we look at movies, I'm just like, if it's self-aware and it's tongue-in-cheek, I'm just like, I just don't care for it. But it works for Christmas movies. I feel like, particularly Christmas horror movies. I've seen a lot of Christmas horror movies that they take themselves very seriously and they get boring, very droll. But this, it's like it's fun. It's fun the entire time. It's not as it doesn't even take itself as seriously as Jack Frost, the first one.
Yeah.
It's much more silly. Much like Jack Frost is much more quippy. He's not as he maybe is not as like terrible. I mean, he's still like a serial killer, but he's not as like horrible and torturous as he is in the first movie. So it's a little more fun to kind of like be on the ride along of seeing all the kills and stuff. It's like I counted the kills and it's like he's got 21 kills, which I don't have the numbers from the previous movie, so I have no clue how that compares to the first one. But it was fun. It's like that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. That's what I liked. It's like it was fun the entire time. It didn't take itself seriously. The kills were creative. Like did they make sense? Not really. Like we saw two dudes on a boat marooned in the middle of the ocean
Yeah.
and they get stabbed. This is basically explain how like how Jack gets his carrot nose and his charcoal buttons. So we see kills like explaining how he got that stuff because that's important to us, I guess, that we see that instead of just like they could have just had that out of
Yeah.
nowhere, but
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, dudes marooned on the boat got stabbed by icicles. Uh,
That was so
and
random though,
yeah,
really. I think it kind of was also to show getting that stuff on top of like he's in the ocean, kind of a proof that he really is. But
it's like it was really interesting though because we see these two random dudes. It's like we didn't see them at like the science lab. We didn't see them. They're not part of like Snowminton.
yeah,
They're not at the resort. Just two random dudes. I feel like they could have connected them to some other plot line, but they
yeah,
were just like an island.
yeah.
So, but hey, what are you gonna do?
All right. So I'd say, I mean, I really enjoyed that too, but I loved all the one-liners in this movie. So it's kind of in the same field, but like I love the my one of my favorite ones is from Jack, of course. He says 20% of frostbite, 100% chance of death. And
Yeah.
then whenever the one of the other reasons that they're on the island is because their couple friends getting married. And there's one scene where they're both kissing, and Jack pops up and he says, "I now pronounce you totally fucking dead."
Yeah.
There's just like a bunch of just funny one-liners, not even just from Jack, but even just like the random people just that you see, just like the one-liners and just like the stupid funny things that they say. Like I don't know, I loved how they really built hard on the corniness of this movie.
Oh yeah. They leaned in it
Um
super hard.
and they used, I feel like, every kind of classic one-liners and just stuff like that. Like here's one from Sam. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack gouge out. Jack gouged eyes
Eyes with an
out with a
anvil stick.
candlestick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I struggled to say that. Just so it's just
Reciting like nursery rhymes. Yeah.
yeah, so it's just like a bunch of stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
really, really funny to me. Uh, so yeah, that's stuff that I liked. So
I had to, looking at the psychiatrist in the beginning part there is like the psychiatrist has got the face of like you thought of this before you came in here like to be clever, right?
yeah.
It's like this is not off the top of the dome. So
All right. What's something that we disliked about this movie most?
what is something I disliked about this movie? Uh Man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Uh I really did enjoy this movie. If I had to say there was something I didn't like, it's Dang, I don't know.
Well, I'll let you think.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So something that I disliked though, but I mean, I get that it kind of made made it better. So I'll explain. So the couple that they went to this island for and all this stuff. Uh, she really I can't remember what's the captain's name or whatever.
Captain Fun.
No, Sam.
Oh,
The sheriff. That's right. He was a sheriff, right? Something like that.
yeah, it's Snowmanton or whatever the name of their town is. Yeah.
Yeah. So just everybody is so rough on him
Oh, they are
to the point where
they're
like
riding his ass.
at first you're like,
They
oh,
were,
okay.
and they were there. They saw it.
And so I don't know, like it was just like it's not because of that, but it just was annoying. Like I felt like they wrote just too much of every I feel like every second that they could, it was just saying the same thing. And it wasn't like new stuff. It was just like, you're crazy. It's not Jack. You're crazy. It's not Jack. So it just
It's
seems
like
like it's the same word.
even when they see people getting shot with like ice spikes, it's like, oh, no way it can be Jack. It's like, well, at this point, does it really even fucking matter?
Yeah. And I don't know. I just feel like there'd be other ways to make fun of him and stuff like that. But it really did just feel like he just copied and pasted the same like phrases to say constantly from these people. And I was just like, okay. Like, it got annoying, honestly. That to me, that's the only thing. It's not a huge thing, but it's anytime Sam was just like, I just feel off or something. They're like, Jack's not here, you're crazy. And
Yeah.
that's just like that kind of thing that was constant. I was like, I get though that like they kind of do it though, because granted, it's a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah.
And they're in denial up to the very moment that they actually see him.
I was kind of hoping it would result in something else than just vindication. I was thinking maybe it would like he would end up like going crazy and doing some shit.
Yeah.
And like almost like, oh, surprise, he is now a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because he's just been like ridden so hard to the point where like now he's just like lost his mind because people are like up his ass about like Jack's not real anymore.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of the writing, honestly,
Yeah.
of it. Of just, it's fine saying the same thing, just change up the actual wording to where it's not an obvious copy and paste.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is I was like it's a simple thing, but and again, in these horror movies, you always have these types of scenes, but I never love them.
Oh,
And it's the objectification portions where it's like you have like the pretty lady and the monster or whatever is like just like lusting after the pretty lady.
it was a
And so
weird
yeah,
scene.
so we have the weird scene where the model, we have the stereotypically gay photographer, like they wasn't great representation. I mean, again, yes, it's in the year 2000, but still. Uh, but when we have the model, and he's like, all right, we gotta get those. You gotta get you looking more excited. And she's like, oh, she does the face. And he's like, no, down here, like, and the nip pointing to the nipples. And so she gets an ice cube. And of course, Jack's like, hey, I can be ice cubes. So it's like silly, but it's also like not silly.
Yeah, it's like,
It's kind of a little skeevy.
okay.
But yeah, and it's like, yes, Jack is a skeevy serial killer, and I get it. But like, I
Yeah.
could have lived without it. I feel like we
That
could
and
have had
the,
something some more creative form of kill. Because I think she ends up like eating the ice and her head explodes. But
that was
I don't
pretty
know.
funny.
That was pretty
Um,
funny, but I didn't see that coming.
no, I didn't either.
But I feel like the kill could have been a little more creative. But yeah, the whole thing with the rubbing of the nipples and stuff like that is like it was kind of creepy.
And the scene also, whenever there's a lady swimming in the pool and he freezes it and she's like butt naked
Oh well, I mean, yeah. Again, this is. I mean, I get it. This
and
is
he
like a
talks
thing.
very sexual to
Yeah,
her, and it's just
this
like
is a thing that happens
feels
in all these
gross, but
horror movies, particularly in these cheesy horror movies. It's getting into it gets into like snuff film territory. But yeah, I never love it,
yeah.
and it's just not for me. So
I think that's the hard part is like you could easily live without it in
yeah.
the movie. So it's just like I don't know.
No, I thought the pool kill was interesting. It was a good kill.
It was a good kill, but I
Yeah.
didn't think she needed to be.
No, she didn't need to be nude.
completely naked. I mean, but I mean, you still don't see a ton besides just breasts. But
Yeah.
I mean, come on. At this age,
There's a
we've
few
seen it all. So
yeah, there's a few times where I thought we would see more of it. So
I was surprised
there was
too,
much
actually.
less than I thought there would be.
I was actually surprised too that there was not more, especially like the 3 girls on the beach thing. I was like, something bad's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Especially with the carrot nose, looked a lot like a penis.
Yeah, and so
And
I'm
so I
like,
was
I'm
like,
always worried there's gonna be
something's
some kind
gonna
of like
happen.
some sort of sexual kill or something.
Yeah.
Because we've seen movies where that happens, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. So it was a lot less than normal. So
Yeah.
that was definitely a plus. And it wasn't, I think, there's a certain line you just never cross. And
Yeah.
they didn't do that. So
Yeah, they did not cross that line. So
thank
a
God.
win in that front, but
Yeah.
I still feel like and again,
Still
yes,
not
I understood it's like
necessary.
the year 2000, but I could have lived without it.
Yeah. So
So
there we go.
that's the thing I didn't like about the movie. Otherwise, I love the movie.
Yeah. So I'm okay. Cheers our party
Yeah,
foul.
so like I give it a cheer. I'm just skipping right to cheers.
Yeah,
So
me
it's like I
too.
really enjoyed this. It was a fun. Again, it's schlocky.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie. It's schlocky. Definitely recommend seeing the first one. I think we gave a cheers to Jack Frost last year.
I think so
as
too.
well. And so I give a cheers to this one too. Definitely watch the first one first because otherwise this one won't make maybe as much sense because there's definitely a lot of plot threads that they try to like draw on just a little bit. Like I had to actually go back and try to remember myself who Agent Manners was.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to look that up too.
Yeah. So they just allude to a bunch of stuff in the first movie. So watch the first one if you haven't seen it already, and then watch this one. Yeah. But yeah, as far as like Christmas horror movies go, it's on my list of like ones that I enjoyed. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I enjoyed both. I'm glad that we got to do a back to back where we saw the first one last year and the second one this year.
yeah,
And it was just enjoyable. I think it was a good mix of making it a horror slash just comedy.
yeah,
And it was enjoyable to watch. I mean, obviously it's gory to the point where it's just ridiculous.
yeah,
Even my wife is just like, I can watch this kind because it's so bad.
yeah.
You know?
It's like the practical effects on it, like of the gore is like there, but it's not like overbearing.
Yeah, it's not awful. And
Like
it's obviously
you see a
not
smushed
real.
human being, but it's like it's fakey.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, there you go. Cheers from party cheers from
party
us.
cheers.
Yeah, so if you're into those kind of movies, we recommend you try it out. If you do watch it, let us know. If you watch the first one and then the second one, let us know which one you liked most.
Yeah,
I lean towards liking the second one most.
it's far more silly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it awesome. So, yeah. So if you watch it, let us know. I would definitely love to hear what you guys think. All right, so I guess let's move on to the thing of the week. Do you have
Yeah.
something, Anthony?
I dropped a hint that I was going to talk about something, and I
Oh,
can't
yeah,
remember
that's
what it was.
I can't remember either.
All right, you go ahead. I'm going to try to remember what I said I was going to talk about.
All right. So this is something I've talked about in the past. I know. I keep using the same stuff over and over again. But, with the way social media is these days and pretty much okay, let me start this over. Take time away from your phones. I've been working hard lately at I kind of just decided, I was afraid I knocked over my water. I pretty much deleted pretty much all social medias off my phone and all that kind of stuff. Is like, you know what? I'm ready to kind of start being more like aware of where my time goes, because it's so easy to like get caught up scrolling the terrible Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, just whatever it is. It's so easy to just get caught up, and before you know it, you're like, gosh, it's time to get ready for tomorrow and go to bed. So it's a mixture of just like take time away from your phone and make sure you use your time more meaningfully, more meaningful,
In a more meaningful way.
There you go. Because let me tell you, there's just so much out there. Even if you can't afford to do stuff, just go outside and sit, or go for a walk, or just hang out and pull out a board game and play a game, or you know what I mean. Just like I don't know. I've pretty much decided, especially with the future that's upon us, our big move, going out to whole new. It'll feel like a whole new world, honestly. uh it's just like I want to start putting these into practice now, so whenever we move, it's just like, hey, I log off of work, let's go out, let's go for a walk,
Yeah.
let's go sit at a brewery and play a card game, or just I don't want to be stuck at home anymore all the time. So yeah, so that's kind of my thing for this week, is just make sure you use your time wisely. So there you go.
Yeah. And I cannot remember what I was gonna do for my thing of the week. I alluded something and it's like totally left me. So
Okay, I want to say it's something. Was it? It's not beer related. I think, was it movie related? Music, holiday.
oh, I have no clue. I'm like drawing a blank. But
Yeah,
hey,
if you
I
have something.
saw I saw I don't know if I talk about Andor.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
on Disney
I'm
Plus.
not caught up.
Uh dude, if you have I can't remember if I've talked about Andor yet.
I
It's
think you have, but
oh
no, you're
well,
good.
I'm gonna mention it again.
Yeah, use it again.
That movie, it's a show. That
Could be a
is like
movie.
peak Star Wars. If you're a Star Wars fan, uh, that you may or may not love it because it's not like about Jedi. There's not a gunfight every episode, but if you like I feel like it's like the not Civil War. I feel like it's like the Winter Soldier
Yeah.
of Star Wars, where it's like more of a cerebral kind of spy oriented type thing going on, where everything's just kind of building and building and building and building until like it just explodes. And that's what Andor was. It was very much like this kind of it's following this guy who ends up dying in Rogue One. Spoiler alert.
Wah, wah.
But it's kind of I feel like it's kind of like a eulogy for this character where we learn like where he was before he like just got blowed up by the Death Star.
Yeah.
Um, but we get to follow him. He's like starting. It starts like 5 years before episode 4, and just kind of follow his progress up to that point. And it is super interesting. There's a lot of subterfuge. We get to see like regular, normal, everyday life is like in the Star Wars. Uh, and I just overall enjoyed it. And like
Yeah.
we could see a bunch of like normal everyday people rioting against like the Empire, and it's and not again. There's no like Jedi helping them out or anything like that, like in the movies. So we don't have any like space wizards there. It's just like normal everyday people just rising up against
Yeah.
fascism
Yeah.
in their where they're at. So it's like it's just really like hope inducing. It's really fun and really a really great show.
I agree.
So Andor, it's not what I was going to talk about. I can't remember what I was going to talk about, but I really do like that show. It just had its season finale. There's another season coming out next year. It's 12 episodes for this season and 12 episodes for the next season. But yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's great. If you have Disney Plus, do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I need to get caught up, but what I've seen, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun because again, you see a whole new world to it.
Mhm.
So I'll actually not change, but I'm going to add something, another thing of the week, because I've really been getting into mixing my own cocktails.
Oh,
I feel like I finally perfected the old fashioned. Now it sounds simple, but I tried a few different ways. And I think the key was I made a orange simple syrup to put in it.
oh, yes.
It was delightful. It was very
Nice.
delightful. So, all right. Let's rate these beers, then we can
Yeah.
get out of here.
So for this beer, for the green, again, I wish I had a log of what we had rated the other ones. But for the green one, I'd probably put this at a 3.8. Good. It's good. By the Anthony scale, like it's that's high praise.
Yeah. No, you know what? I think I'll ditto yours.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really good score. Um, I think I would have given it a 4. I think just in general, Imperials are a little bit harsher for me.
Yeah.
And so again, it's kind of like my preference versus how it's made, because I think it's made perfectly.
Mhm. The experimental hops are really good.
Yeah, so I would say that, but between 3.8 and a 4, really, I feel like is a good in between. So
3.9.
there you go. So you wanna, I guess, do Do you remember where all we are?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook at Let's Do a Podcast. We are on Instagram at Let's Instapod. We are no longer on Twitter. Twitter has been shut down. In just anticipation that Twitter itself will be shut down in like any time now.
Yeah. Everybody just needs to get off Twitter.
Yeah. We are on Twitch at Let's Twitchapod.
Yep.
Is it correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where else are we at?
Did you say YouTube?
We are on YouTube at Let's Do a Podcast.
All right. So there's where you can find us and watch us. You can listen to us any place you listen to podcasts. If you're listening to us through Facebook and you don't see us on the app that you usually listen to podcasts, let us know. We'll make sure to get on there. If there's any beer that you want us to try, let us know. Also, if there's any movies you want us to watch, either you can comment on any of these things, any of these platforms. You can send us an email at let's do a podcast 22@gmail.com. And we have one more episode, and then we're done for the year.
Yeah, we're taking a break, and then Cage Fest.
And we got Cage Fest. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks. I think that's the week of Christmas.
Yeah,
week of Christmas.
So happy Christmas shopping season.
Yes. Enjoy your time leading up to this. So we will see you guys later. I'm Ray.
And I'm Anthony.
Let's end the pod.
Bye.
Oh.